When you look at it from a law enforcement perspective, if you sell a gun, an illegal gun, or you sell, a kilo of heroin or cocaine, you sell it once, whereas with people, they can be used again and again and profited off again and again.
Just had to hold you.
So over the years, my own views of this have changed a fair amount. And it seems to me that progressive men and women have a responsibility to look more deeply into the question of where women in the sex trade come from, how they get there. And that leads you to some very disturbing places.
If we as men step up to the plate and say that we're not going to do this anymore, we would see sex trafficking, and especially the most extreme cases where there's really a lot of resistance and a lot of forces taken to really bring a woman into that industry, we would really see that begin to curb. If men didn't buy sex, there would be no sex trafficking.
I'd raise your kingdoms, will them to worship your name, then I'll destroy them.
As men, we'll often look at the circumstances that women are in, whether it's that a woman was raped or sexually assaulted, and we'll blame her for that. We'll say, well, look at what she had on, or look at where she was, or why did she go to his room? We'll talk about women who are hit or beaten by their husbands and say, well, she must have done something to deserve that. We look at ways to blame women for the violence that men perpetrate. And the same thing we'll do when it comes to trafficking or commercial exploitation. We'll look at that woman and think that she's making this choice when there's very few women who want to grow up to be trafficked or prostituted.
Oh, I'd kill dragons with only the strength of my hands, and I'd raise your kingdoms.
As a longtime member of the Coalition Against Trafficking of Women, I firmly believe that this is an issue that is a global issue that gets more and more critical every single year, and it starts right here in New York City, where unfortunately much of the demand for sex workers originates. Nobody expects to come to America and to work in the sex trade. This is not the American dream. This is modern day slavery.
I know later.
A lot of people have changed their views over the years and evolved, and I think it's time to look at a lot of the issues around the sex trade differently. And in particular, I think at the tremendously skewed enforcement that we have in this country and in most places around the world, where to the extent it is focused on by the criminal law, the people who pay the price are the women who, by the fact of their victimization, are caught up in this and are doubly or triply victimized by also being the only people the law enforcement system deals with harshly. So it's really time to look at the men who run, for the most part, the sex trade, the men who benefit from it, the men who purchase sexual services without thinking about what lies behind them. I think that that is, in my view, one of the key civil rights issues of our time.